good time roll. Roll all night long.
Feels so good when you're home.
Come on, baby, rock me all night long. Come on, baby, let the good time roll. Come on, baby, let me thrill your soul. Come on, baby, let the good time roll. Roll all night long.
All right. How we doing, everybody? All right. All right. I love it. Love it. Love it. We're gonna have a great time tonight. I got a very dear friend of mine that we really go back a long time. So we got a lot of things to talk about, and I really would like you guys to get more involved. Ask the questions when he starts to talk about certain things. If you have questions, don't be bashful. You know, because those things are things that are not rehearsed, and when you don't rehearse them, the spontaneity makes it a little more interesting. So we'll bring him out in a few minutes. He's in the green room right now. We'll bring him out in a while. But anyway, the one thing that I always ask everybody, and you know the facts, that when I wind up asking you where you've been, I don't mean where have you been personally. I mean, have you been to any of the rock and roll shows? Have you seen any recently? Because that's the thing I would like to pass on to the viewing public. If we can find out where you've been and what you've seen, maybe in their area they would like to see it, they may contact a promoter in that area, and we can wind up keeping this music going forever. You know, so you never know. So anybody out there that I can find out, number one, anybody out there already have been to a show since the last taping last month? What do you got, Carl?
Good to see you. This past Friday night, I had the pleasure of going to Aunt Butchie's, Joe LaRocca show, and he had a stiletto and a sax man there. And I got to tell you something. If you hear they're going to be somewhere, you don't walk, run. One of the most dynamic groups. She recently added a Shirley Bassey song called "This Is My Life." I don't even think she was 2/3 through with the song. The whole room was standing up applauding. They're just phenomenal. You've had him here.
Yeah.
Great show. Just a great show.
Yeah, I brought them to Staten Island a couple of years ago. Actually, Joey and Doreen are very, very close friends of mine, and when I say something positive about it, it sounds like I'm doing it because they're friends of mine. But believe me, they are two talented, very talented people. She's got a voice that's incredible, and he's personable, great saxophone player too. So.
And they're not full of themselves. They're
No,
down to earth people, and so we had a great. He even actually pulled me out of the audience, made me get up and sing a song with him. So we had a great time.
Thank you, Carl. Thank you. Anybody else? We got somebody else been somewhere? Al, where are you? Al Simone. Why don't you give a little information on the show you just did? You just did a show in Patchogue out in Long Island. Very successful show.
Yeah, we had a show Saturday night out in Patchogue. We did a tribute to Larry Chance. We had a great video tribute to him, and then we did a plaque ceremony for Bobby T. And his daughter, who actually played Dion's mother in the play The Wanderer. She presented Bobby on stage with the plaque, so he was like floored by it. So also on the show we had Stan Ziskas Satins. Unfortunately, Bobby Miranda had a personal problem, and we had to fill in for him. We got Bobby Wilson to fill in for him, and he went crazy. He did tremendous. The crowd loves him. And then Vinny Meduno got a gallstone attack, so I had to get somebody to fill in for him, and we got Johnny Farina to fill in for him. And the people loved Johnny because when he plays the coda band, he really does well. So we had 2 acts. First time only had to replace 2 acts the day before the show. So, but other than, and then we had the Duprees close the show. So it was really a great show. We had 825 people. People loved it. It was just a great show. Right. It's just that to go all the way out. It's 80 miles from here. You know.
Actually, when you say out from here, we tape on Staten Island, but people watching the show, they live out that way.
Yeah.
So there's people all over the country. We have people all over the world now watching this show.
Yeah.
We've been streaming. I mean, I'm things that I don't even know how. I can't even explain them. You know, it's all right. Matter of fact, we're going to be in Brooklyn pretty soon. I I think December 6th, we're going to be, I can never, it's Athanasius, Saint Athanasius, right? Yeah. Yeah. I always have trouble pronouncing that name, you know.
I want to know if we put Vito Picone and the other guests on the show in Patchogue next year, will anybody from here come? Let me see. Here we go. You never know. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. How about you, Joe? You coming out this way? Joe? Yeah. Joe LaRocca?
I did a show last night in Howard Beach at Our Lady of Grace for Tunifer Towers. We had 150, 200 people. I had the Tissels doing the show for me. It was a fantastic show. This Saturday night I have a show at St. Andrews on Articuno.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I forgot what I have on that show.
That's right.
I got Just Friends. Tommy and Jeannie, Twice Despite. And I got Barry Jason on the show.
Okay.
Okay, and I got a couple shows coming up February 7th in Howard Beach, and I got one coming on Staten Island on February 14th.
Why don't you give them your
If anybody want to contact me, just look up LaRoccoEnterprises.com. My number is 917-620-4309. My email address is jcl913@yahoo.com. I'd be glad to help anybody out.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Vito.
Thank you. Hi, Lo.
Hi, Vito. I always appreciate your support and letting me speak. So I just want to say, not this past Saturday, the Saturday before, I book in a small restaurant in New Jersey in Englishtown. It's restaurant Maeda's, and Anthony DiDio. I have to tell you, he called it a perfect storm. It was like sometimes in a restaurant, people are talking, they're not so interested in the music. This night was like amazing. Everybody was into the night. He just had a great night. He entertained, didn't stop for 3 hours, so that was great. He will be back there on December 6th, and then the week after, I have Dennis Dell there. So it's if you're coming to New Jersey, 2 great shows, and that'll close out the year for me. Jimmy Faluca couldn't make it tonight, so he's in a show in the Old Bermuda Inn on December 14th with the New Expressions. It's like I said, it's not my show, I'm not the promoter, and there's a few other acts, and it's $100 a ticket. It's gonna be a great afternoon, but I feel like Jimmy asked me if I'd mention it, so you know what? It doesn't make a difference, I'm not the promoter. We all need to do good.
That's all.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Rich.
Thank you very much.
You're on, buddy.
Okay, first up, I will be doing something for the Bobby Rydell Foundation. They're calling it the Wildwood Holiday Spectacular on December 6th. I will be there with Tommy Kono, Joey M., and the Brooklyn Bridge. They will be there, and the doors open at 6. Show starts at 7 at the Wildwood Convention Center. For tickets, go to the BobbyRydellFoundation.org, and that's December 6th. I'm not looking forward to the ride, but I'm going to go anyway.
To make the ride worthwhile, go to Joey M's restaurant.
I know.
You got
go to Joey M's to eat.
La Piazza
Yes.
Cugina, and you'll eat some nice food, and that'll make you forget the ride.
Next show up is Al Simone Entertainment, ADP Entertainment. They teamed up and they put a show together, and they're calling it An Evening of Comedy and Music. Saturday, April 11th at 7:30 p.m. You get to see my Elvis show with my band. And opening the show will be a very well-known comedian, ventriloquist, John Pizzi, at the Middletown Art Center. The Middletown Art Center at 36 Church Street, Middletown Township, and the number there is 732-706-4100. It's April 11th at 7:30, and really looking forward to that. And we have another show, an Al Simone ADP Entertainment show, Donna Forever, with the Ultimate Donna Summer Tribute starring Rainier Martin, Friday, March 20th, 2026, at the Vogel, and it's at 99 Monmouth Street, Red Bank, New Jersey. Call 732-842-9000 for your tickets. That's all I got to say.
She does a fantastic job, too. You actually think you're watching Donna Summer.
Absolutely.
You know? And that's my birthday, by the way, so,
Is it?
yeah.
Okay,
So
I'm gonna go
maybe
get you
I'll,
a gift later.
No,
No, but she is great. I've seen her once, and
Yeah.
she has, her tone is so close
Absolutely.
to Donna Summer, and she looks amazing.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I plan on seeing her again.
Beautiful.
All right.
All right,
Thank
thanks, Rich. That was Richie Santa, by the way. Probably one of the premier Elvis tribute acts in the country. No, I mean, I'm not saying that because you're here.
What'd you say?
I said you're a great ventriloquist. John Peasy happens to be a unique comedian. He is a ventriloquist. He's a very old friend of mine, a good friend of mine. His father and I used to work together before he was born. And John and I, over the years, have had there's a couple of stories which I don't even want to get into it. But John will tell you when you get a chance to talk to him, just give it. He'll tell you the stories. But he's phenomenal, and it's actually it's like Don. I hate to use the word dummy, but what else is he? He's a dummy. That's it, right? What do you call it? A puppet? Well, a puppet is like with strings, I think. This is a dummy, you know. But anyway, it's like a Don Rickles. The dummy is like a Don Rickles. If you're sitting anywhere in the first 5 rows, don't bring a gun, because you'll kill.
He is rapid fire.
Oh, he's amazing,
One
amazing.
joke after another.
Oh,
And he's a
And you
mentalist.
really have to tune in to hear what he's
Yeah.
saying, because everything is hysterical.
he tried to come at me one time. I told him, I said, keep it up. I'll sick the termites on that dummy.
Vito.
No.
besides-
Anybody else?
Besides being a ventriloquist, he's an unbelievable mentalist. He has so many skills besides the ventriloquism. It's amazing.
All right. Well, I don't think anybody heard you there, but he's an unbelievable mentalist.
Mentalist, yeah.
So he's mental. Is that what you're saying? When I see John, I'll remind him that you said he's crazy.
Linda says you're mental.
He was
No,
in my community. He was
he's a great guy personally, and he's a tremendous talent. Very funny guy. Anybody else? I can't believe, Mary, that you did not go someplace. You had to be somewhere, someplace. You saw something.
The Bronx Wanderers, I don't want to miss them. I go to the Pittman Theater. We take that long drive to see the Bronx Wanderers the day after Thanksgiving. Looking forward to that.
Right.
And December 6th, I fly out to Island. I pray.
All right.
Yeah, well, yesterday we were at the Roadhouse, and they had the
Okay.
Johnny, you had him. Well, he comes all the time. He's not here today, but he, he was there, Johnny, and reactions.
Okay.
I really enjoy them. They're really good.
Good. My grandson, who I haven't seen yet, just came from L.A.
They would love it.
It surprised me yesterday. They're going to be with me for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we'll
So
take
I had the
it.
greather thrill of my life was playing with my
I know,
grandkids. Yeah. How about peeves? Anybody got any pet peeves? Staten Island Hospital parking lot. Oh, jeez. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. Anybody go? Unbelievable.
Everything is bike lanes.
It's amazing. They actually put a row right down the middle of the street for people to park in it. Yeah. Now you can't. It's I'm not gonna mention this person's name, but when they first did it, he pulled up and he got behind the parking cars. And he thought that was a traffic jam. He sat there for 20 minutes. And the cars never moved because they were all parked there. But the way they have it, it's right in the middle of the street, right by Staten Island Hospital. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
This week started Mason. They
Oh.
got Mason, and they got Patty Point.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of complaints right now. I think they're going to start doing a little research on that because there's too many complaints, and
They take the left-hand turn.
it's ridiculous. Well, that's a good peeve. All right. Anyway, we're going to get down to the heart of the program right now. I want to talk to you about this particular individual, and I'll go into it more in detail when he comes out here now. And then we'll get a chance for you people to meet him and talk to him yourselves. And please, like I said, don't be ashamed to ask him a couple of questions. All right? I'm talking about Al Contrera. Al Contrera, as I know him as Ali, but Ali has been with the Mystics, the original Mystics, and actually has been 30 years with the Classics. He's been on our show as an entertainer, but now he's on our show now as a guest. We're going to be sitting down and really keying on all the things that he's done, all the things that he's about to do, and all the things that we would like to know that he didn't want to tell anybody else. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Al Contrera from the Mystics.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been sitting here for an hour.
No, you weren't. You were in the green room.
I was in the green room.
You want to give away secrets? TV. These are TV secrets.
Yeah.
How you been?
I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
I'm getting old, but I'm doing fine.
We're getting old. We're all getting there. I mean, it's got nothing to do with what you're getting to. It's where you're going.
That's what I didn't figure out yet.
Yeah, right.
I know I'm going someplace.
Nobody remembers where they're going.
No.
I still don't remember where I'm going. I go in a room, I figure what I went in there
Yeah,
for.
right. I know. Then
So, we, as I mentioned to the audience a few minutes ago, the original group, the Mystics, came from Brooklyn. You were one of the 5 original members of that group. Hushabye was a tremendous success. Great record. If you want to enlighten everybody a little bit on how it started, and it's the old Don K. Reed story. So where did you get your name?
where'd you get your name? Yeah,
Were you standing on a corner? But
Well-
anyway, just start from the beginning.
Right.
Give them a little synopsis.
Well, my story is I never realized I was a singer. First of all, I never realized I was a bass. So I went to New York High School. So at New York High School, during the day, because we really never went to school, we just showed up, took attendance, and then I went to the candy store and I hung out in the candy store. And we played the jukebox and the whole thing. So I'm sitting in the jukebox and some guy comes sitting next to me, and the stools by the counter, and there's stools, and he and the owner of the place, his name was Pop, and Pop comes by and says, "What do you want?" I said, "I'll take an A-cream." I said, "My friend wants an A-cream too." So the guy that sat next to me says, "Excuse me," he says, we didn't say excuse me. He says, "Who are you?" He says, "Do you sing?" I says, "No." I said, "I don't sing. Why are you asking me that question? Sing out of nowhere." He says, "Well, because you have a deep voice, and I don't know any kids." Well, I was only like 17 at the time. I don't know any kids that have a deep voice like that. I says, "Well, I don't sing, but..." So he says, "Well, listen, I'm going to play a song on the jukebox, and when this part, You'll Never Know by the Platters?" I said, "I heard the song." I said, "But I don't know it. I'm not a singer." He goes, "Well, when the part comes on that the bass does the part, do it with him, and I'll see what you can do." So I said, "Well, my friend is egging me on." And when I came with it, he said, "Oh yeah, you could do that. You could do that." So I said, "Oh, well, let me see what's Anyway, the song comes on and it's just playing, You'll Never Know. He goes, holy mackerel. He didn't say holy mackerel, but I know we're on TV. But he says, you're a bass. I am? What does that mean? He goes, well, I have a group, and this guy was Tony Amato, who started the Passions.
Right.
Now the Passions weren't a group yet,
Sure.
but he was the guy that started the Passions. So he says, listen here, why don't you come by? We're having a rehearsal. I have a group, and we're having a rehearsal. Why don't you come by? And I said, oh, I don't know, I guess what the hell? What do I got to lose? I got 17 years old. I had no direction. I said, that's a direction, you know. So we says, okay. So I went by and I started singing with that group. And the lead singer's name was Jimmy Hudson. And the reason his name was, everybody had a nickname in those days. You know? So the reason his name was Jimmy Hudson is he had a Hudson. It was a car. It was a Hudson. So, and he was one of the few, he was older, so he drove. And we used to get around in his car.
It's a good thing he didn't have a Studebaker.
No, we couldn't get around.
Jimmy Studebaker.
That was a terrible name. You know, but that fit, you know.
Yeah.
Jimmy Hudson fit. And I started that, and that's how I started singing.
Wow.
So later on in years, or not even years, we were terrible. We were just terrible. There was no harmony. Nobody knew what to do except for Tony Amato. He had pretty good ear for that. So we're all trying to sing. And if you ever tried to do this, well, there was no school for it. What do we know?
Sure.
We were just... So he says, well, we'll put this record on, and you pick out the part that you're supposed to do, and you just do that. That doesn't make any sense to me. I said, but what if there's no bass in it? Because now I'm a bass.
Sure,
you know?
sure.
So he said, no. Well, you could improvise. You do something. So now we got a baritone, a second tenor, a lead, a first tenor, and a bass. Right? 5 guys, and everybody's trying to mimic the record and try to get their parts off the record.
Right. That's how
It's impossible. How do you do that? It's just impossible. So we tried for hours and hours and hours and hours. Every once in a while, you would hear harmony. And we go, wow, that's so cool. That's really cool. We did it. But it was horrible. It really wasn't good at all. So little by little, we figured out that some guys just cannot sing. They just cannot sing. And it's like, you know, sometimes you ever go to a wedding and people get up to dance, they can't dance. They don't belong, they're not dancers. So sit down. Some guys who got up to sing, they're not singers. They just can't do that. So little by little we weeded out different people, and so one day I have my cousin Koenig, which you know my cousin,
Sure.
Tony Koenig. So he says to me, he says, you know, he was on the group too, as I forgot to say. He was terrible. He was the worst. He was never could hit the right note.
He became a baker.
Maybe he'd be more than that. Yeah, I don't know what school he went to.
Oh yeah.
But
Reform school.
yeah. So he could never hit the note. So we told him, look, we'll keep singing. You know, nothing ever worked out. It was never going to work out. One day he comes to me. He goes, since that point, Tony Amato joins a group called the Overruns, who were very popular in Brooklyn, and they were they were good. They really know how to sing harmony, and they were doing shows and all that. So he says, one of the Overruns doesn't want to sing anymore, and happens to be the bass, and he doesn't want to sing because he's afraid to go on stage. So he says, maybe you want to audition for them. I I said, oh, I'll give it a shot. I said, what the hell? Like I said, I got nothing to lose. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't even know if I'm going to graduate high school. I don't know what the hell's going on in the world. So I said, this might be a good career move for me. Who knows, you know? So we set up the audition. Now, I don't know if anybody's from Brooklyn, but do you remember on 7th Avenue there was a drive-in, Mitchell's?
Mitchell's.
So the meeting for the audition is going to be in Mitchell's. And Albie Crackalisi at the time, and Bobby Ferranti, and a few of the other guys, and the lead singer at the time was
Philly?
not Philly. No, Philly was not the lead singer.
Oh, okay.
There was another guy, I can't think of his name right now. But anyway, they're in the car already. My cousin Knig pulls up, and he goes, they're in that black car. I says, okay. So I get in the car, made the introductions, and they says, okay, so what do you want to sing? I says, oh, what do you want to sing? What do you want to sing? We don't know what we're going to sing. So he says, so he starts a song. He starts with down, 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 down. So this is the Del Vikings.
Come go with me.
I know the song now. Yeah. So I come in with the bass part, down, 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 and they all stop, and they go, wow, you're a bass. I know that's what he tells me. I don't know if I really am, but that's what they. So he says, let's start again. So we start again. We do the whole song, and then we did another song, and they says, why don't you just get out of the car so we could talk? I says, all right. We get out of the car, and then 2 minutes later, they call me back in. I says, now I'm on the overruns. I says, I can't believe this. I don't even know who they are. I have no idea what they do. But I'm at the overruns now.
Where did Philly come from? How did Phil get involved?
Well, Phil came in later. We had some problems with the lead singer at the time, and the problems are interesting.
Yeah.
He learned how to play guitar. His name was Joe Strobel. So Joe learned how to play guitar. Now all he wanted to do was play guitar. He wanted to sing and play guitar. But we tried to play the guitar, he wouldn't forget his words. So we threw him off the group. So now we needed a lead singer. So Philly had just come out of the Navy. He was in the Navy during all this time. I hadn't even met Philly.
And he was Albie's brother. Albie was already with you.
Albie Crackalisi. So now Philly Crackalisi, who was in the Navy, just comes out of the Navy. The timing was right. So on the group now was Albie Crackalisi, me,
Bobby
Ferranti, Philly Crackalisi, and George Galfo.
Right.
Which George Galfo was Albie and Philly's nephew.
Right.
How's that for strange?
Was it nephew or was he their uncle?
Well, he was the nephew.
Oh,
George
okay.
was the nephew.
I thought George was their uncle.
No, they were the uncles.
They were the uncles?
So what happened is Georgie's mom, well, anyway, take my word for it. That's his uncle. So now we got this final group of, and everybody kind of knew how to sing. By that time, like a lot of almost a year went by, and I was getting into this thing. I said, this is pretty good. Aside from the fact that,
what about Nellie Bly? Was it there was a story that you guys started at the Nellie Bly amusement park. Was there any truth to that at all? Nothing, right?
No, Nellie Bly was like for kids.
Just the amusement park on Bell Parkway.
Yeah, but we had nothing.
Yeah, I think Kenny Vance was telling that story. I think he said that.
Well, Kenny made up a lot of stories.
right.
Yeah. Nobody would know the difference,
And then you wound up somehow with Laurie Records.
Yeah, that's a whole other.
All right, well, you got the Laurie.
That's why we're here, right?
Yeah, take it from Laurie.
All right, so now we've been singing quite a bit, and we're getting a lot of local stuff. Not that we're doing many shows, but we're doing local stuff. And we felt we were really good. So he says, well, what do we do now? What's the next step? He says, well, we should make a record, because we got all those groups out there. They're all making records. We're as good as them. So where do you make a record? Well, we go into the city, Manhattan, and Bobby Ferranti was good with all this stuff, and he was kind of like the spokesman for the group. So he says, we'll go into the city. He says, I looked up 4 record companies, and we'll go in and we'll audition for them. Okay, so we get on the train, get into Manhattan. We go to probably 1650 Broadway and one of these other places, and we look on the thing, and it says, 7th floor Roulette Records. Well, let's go. So we go up. You got to remember, 5 guys who looked pretty tough guys. We were all they were in a gang. I mean, I was afraid of them. So we go up to the 6th floor. At the time, they had elevator operators. Yeah. Guys would come in, what floor you want? 6th floor. So we get off on the floor, and we knock on the door. And we don't hear nothing. We knock on the door again, and finally somebody says, come in. Well, you don't knock on the door in an office building. Well, we don't know. We were never in. And we go in, and well, we're here to audition. Do you have an appointment? No. We don't have an appointment. We just decided that's where you got to go. So she gave us a whole lecture. The secretary gave us a whole lecture on, if you guys want to do this, you got to make an appointment or get a demo record.
Right.
I never heard that word before.
Right.
None of us did. I said, what is a demo record? Well, you go and you make a thing, and it's a demonstration record. It shows what you guys could do on a recording. And this way, when you go to visit somebody, you bring them the record and they can hear what you sound like. I said, oh, okay. So we said, well, we'll do that. So we go down, on the way down, we get off at another floor. There's a Broadway recording studio. So he says, well, let's go and ask this guy, because if he's a recording studio, he might know about demo records. So we go in there, and he says, oh, yeah. He says, I can make a demo record for you guys. And I says, all right, so how do we go about this? He says, well, make an appointment with me. I have this appointment. Everybody's got an appointment. Make an appointment with me, and you come back, and we'll do a demo record. In the meantime, we had made inquiry in the neighborhood about how you go about doing all this stuff. And so where do you go when you want to find out about this stuff? You go to the local wise guy who's on the corner in the sharkskin suit, and because you figure, well, they're involved in the recording industry. We don't know for sure, but we think they are. And they should know where to go. So we go to the local guy on the corner. His name, I forgot his name. I forget everything.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Johnny Buick.
Yes, it was close. Frankie Mouth. Frankie Mouth. Same thing. So he says, I know a guy. He goes inside, he makes a phone call, and not even 5 minutes later, some guy shows up, and he introduces himself to us. He says, yeah, I'm in the music business, but he was older than us, like by quite a few years. I said, how? But we're kids. He goes, no. He says, you need a demo record. I says, well, we know that, I said, we actually made an appointment. He says, all right, I'll follow up with that. I gave him the guy's card. He followed up. And now he tells us, well, it's going to cost $500 to make this demo record. I $500 in 1958 was like $5 million. We didn't. I think minimum wage was 75 cents an hour. So where are we going with this $500? So we don't have that kind of money. He says, well, you can take a loan out. You take a loan, go to the bank. So we went on 86th Street, there was the Dime Savings Bank. 5 of us walk into the Dime Savings Bank. And we go up to the first guy in a suit by the desk and we go, we need $500. I mean, he probably thought we were going to hold him.
Stick 'em up.
We were going to hold him up. He goes, what do you want? I said, well, we want to make a record, and I'm telling him the whole thing. We'll pay you back as soon as we make our money. He says, no. He says, you need collateral. Collateral? What the hell is collateral? These words we never heard before. Collateral. What is collateral? He says, well, somebody has to vouch for you because we don't know who you are. And we're going to make sure that you could pay this loan. He gave us a whole explanation of it, which was interesting at the time. Not that who cared, we just want to make a record. So we walk. So Bobby's father was in the insurance business. So we said to him, this guy wants collateral. He goes, I'll sign for you. So he co-signed, and we figured out how to do this whole thing. Now we got the money. We pay the wise guy's friend.
And he paid
the wise guy.
He paid the demo, which was only $40.
It was only $100, which we found out later.
Right.
But we found out later a couple of things. Number one, he paid off his gambling debt with our money, which is $400, and we had. And we were ready to do a demo. We did the demo. I'll cut a few things out, but we did the demo, and the recording guy, the guy who owned the recording studio, says, he says, I do a lot of this. I have these groups come in all the time. He says, you guys are really good. I thought he was like pulling our leg, but he says, you guys are really good. He says, hold on a minute. He says, let me make a phone call. And he calls Jim Gribble. We remember that name.
Right.
So, and Jim Gribble was a manager. At the time, we didn't know all this at the time, but at the time he managed the Fiestas, So Fine, and he had a whole bunch of kids that were hanging out that wanted to record for him. So anyway, he says, well, send them up to see me. And we go up to the 10th floor where his office was, and we sang for him, live. And he's sitting there, and he was a big, tall Southern guy, and he smoked the cigarettes like this. And he had an ashtray, it was loaded with cigarettes. The guy took a drag on a cigarette, the cigarette went halfway down. So what the hell is this guy? He's going to have cancer by tomorrow morning is the way he's going. So we said, yeah, we want to record and we want to do this whole thing. He says, let me make a phone call. Everybody made a phone call. There was not today. And we're waiting. So he makes a phone call. He calls Laurie Records. And he gets Gene Schwartz on the phone. He goes, I got a bunch of pretty boys here, and they could sing their asses off. I says, wow. I said, he really liked us. I'm thinking to myself now, because we weren't talking to him. We were afraid to talk. It was like, who's this guy? What is going on? And Gene tells him, bring him up. So I think their office was a few blocks up Broadway. So he took us to lunch, and then we went up to see Gene and we sang for Gene. And Gene, he loved us. He loved it. He says, this is great. Can you all sign? You all over 18 or whatever it was? And I had, now by then, I was the youngest in the group, and by then I was 19 years old. So we had a recording contract fee that they prepared for us, and now we had Laurie Records.
This was the hit record.
I'm sure they all heard this song.
Hushabye, hushabye, oh my darling, don't you cry. Guardian angels up above, take care of the one I love. Oh, hush, hush, hushabye. Oh, hush, hush, hushabye.
The next one I want you to we'll get a piece of this, because talking about being a bass singer, he had the opportunity to have another record that they recorded. It was called The White Cliffs of Dover. And this is actually Ali singing lead in his bass voice when he did this particular record.
There'll be bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover tomorrow. Just
19 years old.
There'll be love and laughter and peace ever after tomorrow when the world is free.
Wait till the bridge and tell them who's singing the tenor. Jay.
And Johnny will go to sleep in his own little room again.
The thing was that with Hushabye, the nursery rhyme was where it all came from at that point.
Right. So Laurie Records, when we got Doc Palmas and Mort Schumann to write a song for us, he gave them a direction when he says, we're going to write a song, but I want something in the vein of Little Star. Not many people know this, but I want something in the vein of Little Star. And they came up with Hushabye. Now, if you would have recorded that,
They wouldn't give us the release at ABC Paramount. We would have loved to have done it.
no, that would have been awesome.
It was a perfect marriage.
Perfect song for that.
No, but you guys did a great job on it.
So, yeah, so that was the one thing that,
And then that was it.
yeah.
But we wound up doing so much after that. We actually, you followed us into the Brooklyn Fox with Alan Freed,
Right, yeah. One year we're nowhere,
right?
and the next year,
1959.
yeah, and 1959, that comes out in June.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, our manager, Jim Gribble, calls us up in the office one day, he says, you know, the record is selling a lot. So what does that mean? He says, well, you got to quit your jobs, because everybody had a job, everybody worked. Not like today. People don't work. So we all had jobs. I says, we were stunned. He says, you got to quit your job, because I booked a tour, I booked this, you got to go here, you got to go out to the Midwest, and you got the Alan Freed show. He wants you on your show. I said, we were stunned. What do you mean? He says, no, this is what you do now. Now you're a singing group. That's what you do for a living. We were like, it's like somebody dunked you in cold water. You know, it's like, what? This is what I always dreamed of.
And you know, from that part of his life, the people that we both wound up recording with, working with, traveling with, it's endless, because it was the beginning of rock and roll.
Right.
We were traveling with Buddy Holly. You name the Jerry Lee Lewis, every act that you could possibly name from that era.
Right.
We lived, slept, ate, drank, walked.
And these are all people that we admired.
Yeah.
As a year before, we were at that show where
Right,
you were
right.
at, watching all these acts on stage and going, oh, boy, I wish we could good enough to get up on that stage and
But
do that.
you put so much into this book now of that whole thing.
Yeah.
Show them the book.
Oh, one of the questions that everybody asks me is, why did you write the book? Aside from the fact that it's interesting how a bunch of guys got together and wound up with a hit record, which was amazing in itself. I don't know what the odds are, but it's phenomenal. It's like winning the lottery, in a sense. In our second year, I'll cut to the chase on this one. So in the second year, we recorded Hushabye. It was our first record, and it was a pretty big hit. And the second record was Don't Take the Stars, which didn't do as well, but it was still in the top 100 on Billboard and all that. Right after we recorded Don't Take the Stars, we lived in Brooklyn. So in Brooklyn, we used to hang out at a gas station after hours, not every night, but some nights. And the reason we hung out there is because we were able to fix our cars and talk with the guys and hang out. Philly, Albie used to stay there, I stayed there, sometimes Bobby would come, some different guys that we knew from the neighborhood. So we maintained our friendship with everybody in the neighborhood, and this is where we used to stay. One particular night, a group of guys who were also from the neighborhood decided that, and again, I'm going to be general with the story because if you read the book, it's in detail of what happens. But a few of the guys in the neighborhood who were known to be robbing stores decided that they were going to rob that gas station in the evening where we used to hang out. Now, I wasn't there. I was supposed to be there with Philly, but I wasn't. I had a date that night, and I didn't go. But Albie was there, and Albie was in the office reading something, and the guy who was watching the gas station in the evenings was changing a tire. So he's crouching down and he's changing a tire, and these guys walk in, the local wise guys that we knew, but we didn't tell everybody we knew them, and they put a gun in his face and said, "This is a holdup." And the guy, according to Phil's description of what happened, is he was startled by the gun and he had a tire iron in his hand, and he just went like this, like an exclamation, and the gun accidentally hit the gun. The tire iron hit the gun, and the gun went off because the guy clenched it not to lose it, and it hit the guy in the head and killed him instantly. So that moment changed the entire direction of everything we did. That one moment that, you never know what the hell's going to happen next. You have no idea what's going to happen. And so the police came by later on and interviewed Phil. He said, "Well, did you know who they were?" He says, "Well, he's afraid to say I knew them because they were with the mob, and who knows what's going to happen." So he said, "No, I don't know them." Now they all ran away. As soon as the gun went off, they all ran away, but the police caught up with them, and I go into a lot of detail, which is some of it is a little gruesome, but they found them and they got confessions out of them, and they all said, "Well, Philly was with us," but Philly wasn't with them, and if anybody knows Philly, he wouldn't harm a fly. So,
well, actually, at this point, as we're running out of time, the book has got all the details. If you have any opportunity to pick up this book, you'll find out that there's a lot more interesting stories. We could go on for another 2 hours, and we haven't even touched on any of the subjects. The fact that we were in Aruba together, which is another whole story.
Well, you got to tell that one little thing.
I don't know if we have time. we did a radio interview. He, myself, Herbie Cox was the lead singer of the Cleftones that had A Little Girl of Mine and Can We Be Sweethearts and You Baby You.
Great
had
song.
a lot of hits. And we got interviewed at this radio station while we did the concert there. They asked if we would do this interview. The interview, when we got there, the DJ didn't even, he spoke with broken English. And he couldn't pronounce the names. So he mentioned, you know, with the people that are going to be interviewing today is...
He had no problem with mine because it's almost Spanish.
He had Senor Ali Contrera, and he had Senor Vito Picone, and then he had and Herb Cox was his name. Herb Cox. Now, I'm not going to go any further than that. But he said, and now we got also Senor, and he used, and he made that word singular.
Yeah.
You know, so
And we fell off the chair.
We never did the interview. We would laugh so hard. Every time he went to talk to us, we could not talk.
We fell off the chair.
So that became Herbie's nickname for the next 30 years. He became Senor.
And he wrote a book, and it's in the book.
Yeah, right. But anyway, there's so many things that we're going to do this again maybe another day. You know, there's just so much more. Where can they get the book?
Amazon. The easiest thing is you just go to Amazon, and in about a day,
Yeah.
I order stuff on Amazon. I have to hang up the phone. The guy's not. Hello.
I can verify that because one day I couldn't find these suspenders, and I said, "Well, how am I gonna? I need the suspenders tomorrow. We're working. 7 o'clock in the morning. The suspenders were on my porch. And then we called what at 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
7 o'clock. The things were there. Amazing is right.
So
Anyway, this you got to read the book. The title of the book is
it's Hushabye, the Mystics, the Music, and the Mob.
and the Mob. So it's got a little of everything in there. But you know, and we do have a lot of people from Brooklyn here, by the way. So
Yeah, how many people are from Brooklyn? Oh, wow.
yeah, so they're there. Again, folks, Al Contrera,
Thank you.
Sarah, Ali, it was a pleasure, buddy.
Anytime, buddy.
Well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course, the green room, we got Parma, which is over on Victory Boulevard, right off the West Shore Expressway. Paulie's got, he puts some of the best stuff in the world is out there to eat. Excellent food. You should try it. Very small, very intimate. You know, and like I said, tell Paulie that Vito sent you, and you'll get one Zeppeli.
Free.
Free. The powdered sugar is $500. And also, we got Country Donuts over in Arthur Kill in Richmond, and they've been with us for years and years and years. Always have plenty of things in the green room. So I want to thank them also. I always want to thank the audience. You guys are tremendous. I always love seeing you people for a lot of reasons. But you're still involved in this music, which is so important to us. And the fact that some of you are out there that spoke, you're presenting this music to other people. I love it, and thank you so much for it. You know, without you, there's no me. So I love that, and thank you so much, everybody. So once again, Ali Contrera, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Where are you, little star? Where are you? Oh, where twinkle, twinkle, Wish I lay, wish I might make this wish come true tonight. Search all over for a love. You're the one I'm thinking of.
Weirdest influence came with Greek music, and I never realized it until maybe about 10 years ago. In South Beach, on my street, Orlando Street, I was born on Andrew Street. We moved to Balfour Street, and then we moved permanently in. When my father passed away, we moved into Orlando Street, and that's where I was raised. Stayed there till I was like 29 years old. But across the street from us, right across Olympia Boulevard, was a place called Damasso's Inn. And Damasso's Inn was a big picnic ground and a catering hall. It was later on sold to friends of mine and people that still run it. And it's now called the Crystal Room. So the wind-up was that every Sunday they rented the place to Greeks. And the Greeks would come from all over the place with busloads. And they would pull into the parking lots. They would put the barricades out front, the American flag, the Greek flag. And from 9 o'clock in the morning, all you heard was Greek music. And that's how I woke up every Sunday, with Greek music pounding in my head. And they do a lot of their music is all done with minor chords and different than what we were doing. So I picked up a lot of that. And when I wrote and sang Little Star, it was told to me later on that it sounded like a Gregorian chant. I never really put two and two together, but it was told to me by people that knew the Greek music better than I did. So there was always influences that you never knew. You absorbed. You're like a sponge, You absorb a little of this, a little of that, a little of this, and then you create your own style. Like I said, for years I used to say Sam Cooke was one of my idols.
I know you send me, darling, you send me.
And so was a fellow named James Shepard. Did Shep and the Limelights. He was sang on he was the lead singer of the Heartbeats that did 1,000 Miles Away and another dozen records. Those were my idols. And those two people alone, like I told everybody, if you take a little of this one, a little of that one, you put it in a blender, and when it comes out, you pour it. It's you, So, I was fortunate, very fortunate. But my roots were dug deep here. I did the TV show. I've got it going on now for over 30 years, and I put Let the Good Times Roll. And we wound up, like I said, I've been in these buildings since the day it opened.
Wish I lay, wish